Little quick question. What would you say to people that say being, motivational, inspirational speaker is easy? Like it's just, you set your schedule, you go, you talk to people, so on, like that cliche. What would you say to those people?
There's people that say that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so there's people that say, okay, let's do this because this is a good conversation.
Uh-huh.
I think there's two types of people. I think there's the people that just say, oh, it's easy, you just go speak and do that. Or some people don't see the value in it necessarily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I could use YouTube a speaker that's better than you probably. Seriously.
Yeah.
I can just go get that game out this book. Mm-hmm. So what's the value of having a live person there?
Yep.
To be honest, I don't have that answer as far as being live versus, because some of my most impactful moments were from reading. Mm-hmm. Right? It wasn't from a speaker. And I love speakers. But reading for me, if I can stay awake, I swear to God, they put melatonin in books.
They do.
Anybody ever been on that same page for 20 minutes? You've been reading that same goddamn page.
Oh, sociology.
That's why you got
102.
That's what you gotta read it in the morning.
That's true. That's the one time I won't fall asleep.
Read it in the morning.
Any other time I'm sleeping.
That's what I learned because I always fall asleep to books.
Big brain. All right.
It's good to go to sleep too. So let's get to this. Okay. So let's talk about the first person who says it's easy. That's a person who doesn't do it. Mm-hmm. And that just gets, so when somebody doesn't do what I do and they say it's easy or something, that gives me confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. So when somebody, because it means they either can't do it, they're scared to do it, they just don't understand it. And they're just doing probably, first of all, that's never a person that is doing something, I'm not going to say unique, but that's never an entrepreneur who says that. Mm-hmm. It's never a person of great ambition. It's a person that is settled a little bit. Mm-hmm. So let's get that out. I've never had an ambitious, business-owned, business-minded, creative say that. I've heard other people say it though, right? Like when we were when I found out how much speakers can make, it's like a $40 billion industry, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I would say where I'm at as far as speaking, I'm like as far as performance and pay, I'm like top like 2% in the profession that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And we just scratching the surface. Like there's so much opportunity with it. Now that's talking like financially, right? Like you could say you're a speaker all you want, but do you get paid?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, in $200 and a Nike gift card is cool, but that's not your career. So when they say it's easy, because you're just getting up there and you're talking, mm-hmm. but they're not taking in. So when I said, like, for instance, when I'm submitting a proposal, I'm always thinking of it in mind with people that don't understand this concept of this. And this is one of the best things I've learned. People don't get paid per hour. They get paid for the value that they bring to the hour. So, for instance, because I've had people say, well, can you break this proposal down by hour? I said, you wouldn't really want to do that. It's going to be more. I'm actually giving you a deal. Because what comes with what I do as a speaker, there's content creation. I don't do cookie cutter like messages. Mm-hmm. So I don't just say, I'll come and do a keynote. But I say, let's hop on a call. I want to see what your goals are, what you want to be true for your audience when I'm done. What's some tangible things they could take away. So I'm creating content off of that. And then I'm building stories, then I'm building principles, then I'm doing research on the organization. So I'm doing all this stuff that people don't see. Mm-hmm. They think you just show up for 30 minutes, 60 minutes and speak. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. It's just like nobody would ever say that with like a concert.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and these dudes, like, and there's a lot of work that goes into the concerts, but you're literally singing the same songs every night. Mm-hmm. Same songs every night. You don't even you're not creating new songs on the fly, for every venue. I'm not saying that's easy either, because I've done that before too. I'm horrible at forgetting my lyrics. With speaking, you could just take long pauses until you remember what the hell you were saying.
That's what the pause for.
But it didn't really matter though when I was a rapper, because ain't nobody know my shit.
Fair enough.
So I would just start freestyling.
Oh, okay.
And then nobody knew it anyway. So okay, so we've touched on that person. So I have to extrapolate through a proposal or through communication, and I don't have to do this that often because a lot of my business is built off word of mouth. Like I was just in New Mexico, I've been in San Diego, I've been in a lot of different places. Not because somebody found me, it's because I spoke and somebody heard that and they said, you need to have him come speak.
Mm.
And so I just look at it like, man, if I actually I have a strategic marketing like plan, but not like, it's not robust. It's not like, I know I could be doing things much, a lot more, but then I just don't want to be on the road all like that.
Yeah.
So there's that person. So I have to explain to them sometimes like the value that you're getting with this. And what I always do is I always deliver more than what is expected. So if they want me to do a keynote, I say, look, I'll do a keynote. Then I'd love to do a follow-up session, workshop with your people, whether that be some PD training or a follow-up with some students. And then I have a digital series that I have called the Underdog Mentality Essence, and that will be exclusively given to y'all. So you're like, shit, we getting all this. I thought he was just going to come speak for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm very upfront with them. And I'll tell them, I'll say, look, I love motivational speakers. I get hype and I get motivated, but I'm a motivated person. I'm an inspired person. Most people aren't, right? They need something to get them to move. So I say that it's much more of a process than an event. So I'm letting them know I recognize that I'm only coming for 45 minutes and you're paying me $7,000.
Yeah.
So I recognize that. So I want to add more value. Here's some options to do that. And I give those at a much lower cost. So it's all wrapped up in one. If I'm going to be there one day, well, I might as well do like, a couple of different things. So then you got that person who's like, oh, it's easy. Then you got the person who doesn't understand the benefit. Those can be entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that only employees think like that. Mm-hmm. Some entrepreneurs, because they're just highly motivated and they have this skill set that like 0.5% of people have. Well, maybe it's you don't need it, but almost everybody else does. So you're just thinking about you and how it's perceived to you instead of how it's perceived to everybody else in the room. So. I don't get first of all, nobody really has confronted me like about pricing, or I've never really had this dialogue, but I've been there before when I didn't quite understand why we were paying some of these people so much, partly because they weren't that good. And I was like, shit, I could do what they just did right now better.
Yeah.
And make 3 months salary is what we just paid that person. And they do this professionally. So I think where I'm at, I want to make sure that like I'm very intentional about what I say, how I say it, where I say it. I make eye contact with everybody in the room. I want to have a connection with folks. And so those people that walked in may be skeptical or like, man, this is going to be because I'll have that on feedback. Oh, I thought this was going to be another one of those, but it really changed my perspective, helped me think about X, Y, Z. And so that's what I really get excited about. People that can't, because I'll ask the question, scale of 1 to 5. A 1, you like, I'm only here because I got to. My supervisor is right next to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here. If I could be at home chilling, doing something, if they said anybody that wants to leave can leave, I'd be the first one out the door and my car gone. That's a 1. A 5 is Tyler. When I found out you was coming, I researched you. I couldn't wait to hear you. I'm excited. I'm like, where you at? The average score I get, doesn't matter if I'm talking to students, doesn't matter if I'm talking to adults, professionals, is about a 3. Sometimes you'll get some 5s. The 5s are the people that I'll ask them, why are you a 5? I looked at some of your content, I think it's going to resonate. 1s are usually people that they don't even know. They didn't even look at the email that came through that said I'm here today.
Yeah.
They're like, what is this dude doing? Right? So, yeah. We've all been there because we've all because a lot of us have had bad experience. Like, show of hands, who's had a bad experience with like a speaker or a trainer, and it's just like, bro, this is a snooze fest, right? Like, and especially you got to know your audience. Like maybe your audience doesn't need all that hype and all that, high level engagement. They need some hard details and steps on like, okay, how do I apply what you're talking about? Yeah. And that's what people are saying. Like, how do I like, I don't see the value of like, I don't want people to ever leave my session, which has happened quite a bit when I first started, that I know how to make people feel and feel encouraged and feel inspired, which is the goal, because you need to figure out what it is that you need to do. I cannot tell you what you need to do. I can give you some things that have worked for me, and I can help you shift your perspective, some mindset development things, but you got to make choices on where you want to take those things. And if you don't, well, then you got to look in the mirror and say like, shit, maybe I actually do need to find, a speaker and understand the importance and the value of it. Because there was one group that I was working with, and she didn't see the value in it, but they had to spend the money. So she was trying to pay me like the bare minimum. Because I used to work for this organization, even though they were in a different state, I was willing to do it at a lower rate. And she was so happy when COVID came, she couldn't wait to say, "Oh, we got to cancel the contract. Sorry," because she didn't see any value in it. And then you wonder why the people that you serve are struggling because you're missing something. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I think it's all it's really a personal preference individually, but collectively, I mean, all the data shows like if you can catch a moment, like life can change for you. If you hear something, and it doesn't just change like that. That's the misconception, right? Like it takes years. Like I tell young people, I was 33 when I figured it out. Literally, if I'm speaking to 16-year-olds, I was twice your age, and I don't even feel old yet. Matter of fact, I can still dunk till I'm 45. That's a goal that I have.
There you go.
And I said, who wants smoke? We can go to the gym right now. I got sneakers in the trunk. I'm lying. I do not want no smoke, so nobody's took me up on that. I am not stretched.
But you can dunk.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm windmilling.
Windmilling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Right.
We get it in 5'11" and a quarter.
Respect.
Yeah. You never seen me windmill?
No.
Oh,
In a video.
Oh, in a video. Okay. LA Fitness. That's where I go.
Fitness.
Keep them rims about 9-10 for you. 24-hour, I was like, ooh, this shit is a little higher than.
It is higher.
No, it really
24
is.
24 is higher.
Yeah. LA Fitness and the Lloyd Center, baby, always keeps me consistent. All you got to post is the make. I remember one time I did it because I was, most of my videos I record in the car because everybody in my house. And I screenshotted how many videos it took me to post this one video. And one of the homies was like, damn, bro, I thought you was doing them shits in one take. I said, no. Sometimes you get on, forget your name, forget this, stutter. It's like, it ain't perfect. Bro, I know what I want to say, but you want to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's minimum, I'm 10, 15 takes, but it took 5 minutes to do that. You know what I mean? So, anyway, it's just like for my young folks that are listening to this, that watch this, first of all, proud of you for doing things you're not required to do. That's what leaders do, and that's what people that want to make things happen do. They do shit they're not required to do, and that gives them an upper hand. And I'll leave you with this. David Banner, no, it wasn't David Banner. It was my dude. Man, he's just too smart sometimes to even listen to. I be feeling dumb. KRS-One. He was like, KRS-One was like, he said that old people need to listen more to young people because it helps, when they listen to young people, it helps them move quicker amongst old people. Because young people have a set of wisdom and perspective. I'm sure I'm older than you, and you just told me about the QR code. I never knew, right? Not saying there's probably a huge gap, but I didn't know that, right? So we need to be receptive to what young people are feeling as older people. And then young people need to be receptive to what older people are saying because they got a certain set of perspective that helps you move faster amongst your peers because you're soaking up game and knowledge. So I think this is incredible, the platform that y'all provide for any and everybody that wants to watch. But for my young people, shit, if it ain't happened for you by next Tuesday, stop complaining. What you gonna do about it? That's the underdog mentality. It's an unwavering belief in yourself despite the situation, the circumstances, or the critics that surround you. And you're always going to have critics. If you ain't got no critics, guess what? You ain't doing shit. Ain't nobody criticizing people that ain't doing shit. Okay? And your situations, anybody ever had bad situations and they weren't ideal? Or has it always been perfect? Like, we can all relate. Like, don't act like you so special that you are the only one with problems. Now, if you catch yourself always having problems, you need to reevaluate what are you doing that's creating problems consistently. People just don't do, they don't reflect enough. And just understand, man, be ambitiously patient. One of my mentors told me that. Be ambitious with your effort, but be patient with the results. It's more like an oven than it is a microwave, man. And once you can do that, put things in perspective, you're intentional, even though the shit ain't really popping like you wanted to yet. And then, I remember I got my first contract. It was $10,000 for a whole year, so it wasn't really that much money. I was so excited. I sat on that thing for about 4 months, and my wife started asking me, baby, you gonna get another contract, or what are you doing? I was like, can a brother just be excited? I just got one, like a sixth of my salary, in one check. And so it went from that to, you know, them making as much as I make in my job, and then leaving my job, and now it's just growing, and it's been consistent. And you know, I'm grateful for it, man. But it didn't happen like this. And sometimes people think it's like, man, I failed every class my freshman year of high school, been suspended, struggled. Like, I see people and they're like, bro, I'm really proud of you. You know what I mean? And that means a lot, because it was like, it wasn't easy. But I always knew there was something great that I was gonna do. It wasn't just gonna be no regular shit. It was gonna be something different, where I encouraged people, got that spirit from my dad and my sister, rest in peace, both of them, and how we just running with it, man, and just trying to spark that new generation, like Pac said, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it, man. Grateful to be here. Y'all keep killing y'all platform, bruh. I'm excited. I said, look, man, you need to get me on without my wife, because my wife make me look bad. She too damn good at this. You need to have her.
You probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.